Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Friday, February 21st. I am joined tonight by Boomy at Boomy TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. I am Zach Lilja. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilja, LILJATCF. On Instagram, Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans and follow us on there. And then we're going to YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans and subscribe to the Typical Chicago Fans page on there. We put all of our TCF morning shows on there. And when we do our Typical Chicago Fans podcast, we put them on there too. And then wherever you get your podcast from, go on there, search Typical Chicago Fans. And if you're going on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Give us a nice little 5-star rating if you would, please. And then if you are on Spotify, follow us on there. Give us a review. Let us know what you think. Thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. We got this beautiful mug right here with the TCF logo on it, and with the Muddy Otter on the bottom. So if you would like a product like this, go to themuddyotter.com. They said they do pottery like this. They do woodworking, and if you have a custom idea like what my mother had, he did a special gift for my mother, for my Aunt Christy, that was very beautiful, and he put it on Twitter. My mom just put it on not Twitter, Facebook, and my mom had posted it too. So if you want a custom idea, follow them on Facebook or Instagram and let them know and they will help you as much as they can. Mitch said he is always excited for a new project, a new adventure in a way for them in their woodworking and pottery. Thank you to The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com again and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Score Trader. We had the debate last night. It got pretty heated. It was kind of there's some wild quotes that they have taken from there. But we have the Nevada caucus coming up here on Saturday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And if you want to get involved somehow with that, if you don't really know much about politics and you were kind of into like the daily fantasy or stuff like that, go to Score Trader. Go to the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app. Free to make an account on there. It's free to play. You can buy and sell Democratic participants, right?
Yeah, Democratic candidates.
I'll let Boomy take it over because he's been playing on the app and he loves it.
Yeah, so it's really simple, guys. Just go down to the app, go to their Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram page, and head over to their YouTube page to watch a tutorial on how to use the app. But it's basically just a way to kind of get yourself involved in the Democratic National Convention. So we're talking about the group of candidates right now that one of them is going to be selected to run against Donald Trump in November. But you can be a candidate for cash prizes just by playing the Score Trader Vote 2020 event. It's a free-to-play prediction market and trading game, but like Zach said, it's only available on the Apple App Store. You buy and sell shares. So you buy so many shares, you sell so many on the people that you think are going to win individual states in their primaries and their caucuses, and then also the overall Democratic National Convention. We have Nevada coming up tomorrow, South Carolina here shortly, and then Super Tuesday in March. But you can win in the events alone, but it's your performance in the events and the overall score for your Democratic National Convention event that affect your profit, which is how the real cash gets made. It integrates political news, so it kind of gives you a way to stay in tune with what's going on in politics and truly finding out who that candidate that's going against Donald Trump is going to be. So it's a good way to get you engaged in the election cycle, all the while expressing your vote of confidence. And it also gives you flexibility to change as it goes on. Maybe you were on Andrew Yang earlier and he's dropped out. So that doesn't mean that you're completely out of it. If you played your cards right, you left some money left over. You can jump on Bernie's bandwagon, Liz Warren, after the debate last night. Probably not Michael Bloomberg, but just go ahead to the Apple App Store and download the Score Trader app and follow them on all forms of social media.
Thank you, Boomy, and also thank you, The Muddy Otter and Score Trader. Thank you for being sponsors of the show. We love you guys. Yeah, we didn't know if we were gonna do another show. We didn't have one last night or yesterday, but we have quite a bit to talk about within Chicago sports here that we kind of wanted to get into before the weekend. So we got a special little Friday show here with me and Boomy. Let's get into the first subject. The Blackhawks keep struggling. It's I think they've
They're
lost
dead.
7 of 8, maybe 6 of 7. The season, they as of the game before last, before they played the Rangers, they were 8 points out of the wild card spot, losing to the Rangers 6-3. I watched the game.
Mhm.
I actually got to watch it on TV, and it was hard to watch. They had their chances, and they just looked defeated. And
Yeah.
they got to go on a crazy win streak if they even want
Yeah, dude, they're
to get
8
back.
points out with 22 games to play. I mean, it's going to be, and you're jump teams to get, or 4 teams themselves in the play. In my way of looking at record, they're 26 and 34. It's not good enough. They shouldn't be a playoff team.
Yeah, they're trending
They've got to
down, so
do
it's
something kind of like you said, man. It's got to, yes, exactly. They give you very little reason for hope right now.
yeah, it's not good. We had a lot of hope before this little losing streak here. We thought that maybe they could make a run at the wild card spot, but they just haven't been able to find it.
Right, and the trade deadline is looming here pretty soon. Do you see the Blackhawks going to make any significant moves, Zach, or
Both
is
of the
it time?
goalies are on a lot of. I just kind of watched the game last night, and they had like things pop up of trade deadline, maybe guys who could be traded, and I know both of the goalies are in spots where you could maybe get some value. I don't know what they're looking at this point. The season by the time by the time it's over, their season you'll pretty much know. And I'm guessing at this point it's gonna be very tough to make a run. So we'll see where the organization goes with it. I seen today Barstool Chief, former guest of the Typical Chicago Fans podcast. Our guy Chief, he was not happy with Waddle and Sylvie or Yurko or something. They had kind of said something about trading, I think, Jonathan Tays. But they made up. I think Chief actually went on Waddle and Sylvie today and talked about it. But it's one of those things you don't know. Something crazy could happen here at the deadline because they're out of it.
Right. I mean, I think they're just right now. If they were sitting maybe 2 or 3 points out, I'd have a little bit of faith. 8 points out with 22
if they
plays.
could have at least won,
that's a lot of ground to make up.
2 or 3 more here in this little losing streak, they would kind of still stay in it. You would have some hope, but at this point, on the losing streak, this far out, you don't see really any way of them going on a winning streak. They got to get hot, and it's just nothing. No, the way they've been playing the last few weeks indicate that not at all.
Exactly. Just seems really far-fetched right now.
Yep. Well, like I said, we got this to look forward to. We got some Cubs baseball. KB, Chris Bryant, will be the new leadoff hitter for the Chicago Cubs. What are your thoughts on it? I looked, and Cubs had one of the lowest batting averages for a leadoff man last year. They were behind the White Sox, too. I saw that.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, man.
I like it. I've seen the lineup. It's been Chris Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, 1, 2, 3. That's a crazy start to the lineup. I mean, that's amazing.
You forget Wilson sliding in there too. You know, I don't know about you, Zach, but I like the consistency of it instead of this whole Joe Madden. Let's pick a new leadoff guy every 5 days and let him try it out, and maybe we'll go back. No, like David Ross has said, this is what it's going to be. And I'm not saying that he's not going to change his course.
If he starts off not doing well, then you're going to make a change. Yeah, don't be crazy.
Right, but I think right now,
setting a precedent, like this is going to be the guy.
Exactly.
You'll know.
He knows. I mean, we have a long time opening day. Chris has on maybe a different approach that he's going to have to take at the plate, and I think right now that's the guy. I mean, you want a guy who's going to hit for average, and people are saying that he's going to slump to like 10 home runs. They're stupid. He's still Chris Bryant. He's still going to
He's
hit for
still Chris
power.
Bryant. I mean, he's
But
still he's an MVP, people. Yes, he had a little bit of a shoulder problem. He's
exactly.
over the shoulder problem. We're on to a new chapter. He seems motivated. This is a Chris Bryant that we have never seen going into spring training, and he's mad, and I like it. I love it.
I agree. I like the consistency, and I like the pick. I think of all the guys on the roster, he's a good one to take.
It's a fresh start for him too. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Go out there and, like I said, it's nice to know even before the spring training games start that he is going to be the new leadoff guy. Like I said, we didn't know like day to day who our leadoff hitter was, and we now already know who the leadoff hitter is before we even start a game, a spring training game. So I think this is going to.
That even gives him the ability to lead off a game and then maybe get one on days like he normally wouldn't even get in the game. Well, maybe he just takes that lead off at bat just to get, a chance to work on his approach or whatever he needs to work on in the one spot. But no, I'm fine. I'm just glad they picked somebody and have said this is going to be our leadoff guy, because all of us fans have been complaining for the last 2 or 3 years, ever since Dexter Fowler left, that we don't have a leadoff guy, and now we do. So be happy about it. Quit complaining about it, and let's just see what happens, because Chris Bryant's a hell of a baseball player.
And my thing is, I think this is just the start of kind of more, as you would say, consistency. Yes, consistency. More of he's good. There's going to be a lot more things in place that are going to happen every single day and stuff like that. I think they're going to kind of go away from. Like I was a fan of Joe Madden. I think Joe Madden's a great coach, but I think they're going to change up the not having batting practices and stuff. And I think they maybe will have that every day. I think maybe the more consistency and the more kind of scheduled stuff will be going on more with the Cubs throughout spring training that you'll start to notice from new and that's when any new head coach comes in, just new stuff happens. It's just what's gonna happen. We're so used, we've had
changing of the guard.
What was it, 5 years we had Joe Madden for? As a coach,
I think so.
And so it's 5 spring trainings that we haven't had a new coach. And yes, we were pretty familiar with getting new coaches before we had Joe Madden for 5 years. We went through a lot of different coaches before. So I think this is just a lot of David Ross putting his new ways of doing things into spring training, and I like it. And like I said, I already said on the shows before that I think I was wrong about David Ross, and I think that he is the right guy to go in there and motivate this team and get the Cubs back into playoff contention and hopefully World Series contention. I'm excited about this season, and like we started off the show with the Blackhawks struggling, I'm excited for the Cubs season to start up here. We have something to look forward to, and hopefully a great season for the Chicago Cubs. But let's get into, we got a little bit of an MLB spring training update. Boomy was telling me before the show he's been watching some videos and the news coming out of White Sox spring training. It looks like they got young guys coming in there. They are excited for once for the season. They got Kopech in there. They got Robert in there. They got Eloy in there. Jose Abreu's having fun. Tim Anderson, all those guys. It's a season that is looking forward to hopefully a playoff run, a division run at least. And you're excited. A lot, some new faces there. Some big signings. Grandal showing up to camp for the first time. Like, that's just exciting. And it looks like they're having a lot of fun at White Sox spring training. And if you're a White Sox fan, you got to love that it seems like a family is starting to build there within the White Sox team.
Like, to me, like, dude, and I don't know, like, I just saw a couple videos of like Yohan Moncada and Eloy and Luis Robert and Jose Abreu doing like these photo shoots, and like it just very, very similarly brought me back to like the 2015 Cubs when KB was, was he going to be in the majors? Was he going to be at AAA? And Rizzo was still a pretty young cat. We still had this hobby kid. Like, it's just very reminiscent of some of those early years, and like obviously we've rode the wave and we're still in it, but it is cool to see in the same side of town or in the same town, just on a different side, that there is an excitement, and it's not not a, well, maybe we'll finish third this year, and if we get really lucky, we're going to get really hot and win a wild card spot. Like they have a legit chance. They got legit players, and yes, they have a lot to prove. But it's at least exciting. Like there, you remember that there's a second team in the city, and that's because of the fact that they have a legitimate chance, something good.
And like you said, with the comparison to the 2015 Chicago Cubs, this team has got more of what's going to be on the field because they have signed the younger guys to contracts where you don't have to worry about the whole waiting 14 days to bring them up from the minors to get the 1 year. They've already signed their guys to contracts where they're going to be set up for the next 3 to 4 years, which I think is where the White Sox have really did a good job within this rebuild. Is you sign the guys that you think are going to be the young superstars, and you don't have to worry about the grievances. You don't have to worry about going to court and stuff like that, and you can just lock it down, and you prove to them that you want them and that you are willing to give them a big contract even before they really go out to the major league level and prove it. I think that really means a lot to players, and I think that's if I would have one complaint about the Cubs, I kind of wish that they would have gone that route too with like a Chris Bryant and stuff, so we wouldn't be in this position.
That's also a little. I mean, we can obviously look at it in retrospect. That was kind of the norm to keep guys.
Like I said,
it's definitely changed in the last 5 years.
Kind of why Chris Bryant did the grievance. He said, "I didn't do it because I was mad at the Cubs. I did it because I want guys like the Luis Robert or the guys like Eloy for teams to want to sign them so they don't have to worry about going through these grievances and stuff like that." And I think, like I said, he did it for the players and for himself. He didn't do that because he was mad at the Chicago Cubs. I think that was something that was misconstrued, and that's what made him a little mad too. It added to his madness. Anything else throughout spring training? I've seen
the Astro stuff's getting played out. I'm just kind of.
Was it the Blue Jays had a drum set with the
well, that was actually it was actually it looked like they were just making fun of the Astros, but it was actually the guy. I think he's a catcher. He's actually a drummer, and he was actually playing, I think, a Rush song because if you remember, the lead singer of Rush has passed away since the end of the baseball season. So he was actually playing, I believe, a Rush song from what I saw on Twitter.
Can we also say that it did the trash cans too? Because I think that's going to be something that is really going to.
Somebody at Astros camp was banging on a trash can before they threw every pitch in BP.
I love it too because if you're gonna do what you did with the media by not apologizing, going with it, then that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be the bad guys, and when you're the bad guys, people are going to try and get you mad. And that's what people are going to do. And it's going to happen on every ballpark. Every ballpark they go to, something different, something's going to happen. Something like they're going to have signs, or they're going to have trash cans, or they're going to be people saying it. They're not going to be able to get away from it this year. And that's probably for the best, too, because that will prove to people that you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff.
Most definitely.
Like I said, it's really surprising the way baseball has kind of come together and said we are all equally mad at the Astros.
Rob Manfred is becoming a villain almost overnight because of all this.
We didn't get to talk about this. What were your thoughts on LeBron James's tweet about Rob Manfred?
I mean, he's right. I mean, it's wild to think that, LeBron has an opinion on baseball. Obviously he's been to some Indians games and stuff, but I agree with him, and I think he came at it from a player's perspective, and he was trying to speak from that end, and I thought he made a really good point. But it's interesting to see the sport crossover, and these guys respect the fact that just because you play a different sport, you're still a professional athlete, and how frustrating that situation. You can put yourself in that a little bit easier than maybe the average person. So I don't disagree with anything that LeBron said.
He also had one of the longest hashtags that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But
Thinks it was like 2008 all
It
over
just shows
again.
the impact that this has made, the non-punishment of the players, and the way that the MLB players have come out and been very against the whole thing, and now players from other sports, LeBron, biggest player in the league, he's the
Yeah.
face of the NBA, and he is willing to go out on Twitter and say something about it, and that's really going to get the attention of the what would need to get the would it Rob Manfred need to get the attention, or would like the MLB front offices need it? Like what would
No, the only thing that's going to make this go away is if those guys get
yeah,
suspended.
and I don't
Like,
know if you
this is
really I
gonna be a
don't think they
thing.
can. I just
Someone
don't
made a
think they
really
can.
good point on Twitter. Someone made an amazing point on Twitter. I wish I could remember who tweeted it, but they said it's in whatever 2 years since the Black Sox scandal. They still get talked about. It has been however many years since the juicing scandal. They still get talked about. Like if the Astros players think that this is just going to change overnight, like you're out of your mind. This is going to happen, and this is going to continue to be talked about, continue to be rehashed and everything until these guys are long gone.
But the problem is,
I think the only way to fix it is to suspend these guys.
But that's the problem. That I think that they could legally can't do that because they signed the immunity, and they should. That's what they should have never did. And I understand. I'm guessing you wouldn't have got the same stuff from the players, but it's just now you're looking at it, and it just made it a whole big situation when you threw that in there.
Yep.
So
exactly, the MLB really stepped in it this time.
Yeah, it's just
again, shocker.
Yeah, again, we'll see where the whole thing goes, and at some point they're gonna have to. I don't know. They're gonna have to.
The chickens are going to come home to roost at some point.
Yeah, they're going to have to come to an agreement because first of all, they got a CB. Is it CBA?
Yeah.
In 2000, is it 21 or 2022? That's going to be up. And there has been some talks of a strike, maybe if they can't come to. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you don't come to an agreement. But there has. I think both sides are kind of looking at it differently. They have a whole playoff system that they're trying to expand, and with the selection show and stuff. So we'll see about that. But I was just watching the end of the Bulls game. Bulls Hornets. Bulls lose again. I think they're 19-36 now.
Yep, that's what they're at.
Like I said, the UC went from an all-star game with one of the best all-star games of all time, and now we had the Bulls Hornets. Bulls favored by 4.5 and lose by I think 10 or so. It's just
103.
It's you wish you could just the rest of the season could be over. Yeah, you want some of the guys to play, get some playing time, but I don't know. It's just it sucks to watch. It's tough to watch. There's just no upside to it as of right now.
I think it was a former guest of ours, Herb Lawrence, said, like, we're almost, if not already, at the old Tim Floyd era Bulls. Like, that's how bad. Like, forfeiting sounds better than having to watch some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's just
like
the problem is, like, I could take losing some games if you had some younger guys that you really believed in this and that, but we got Zach LaVine, and then what? What else do we have? Like Lowry's not playing.
Kobe White doesn't get the time of day.
Kobe couldn't even make the Rising Star game in Chicago for the All-Star game. Chris Dunn's out for another 2 months or something. Denzel Valentine, is he hurt? Is Denzel hurt?
Nuts. Ryan Arcidiacono started tonight. Kobe White played 30 minutes, had 12 points. Ryan Arcidiacono played 28 minutes, and had 3 points. Why is he starting?
Because we have to. We don't have anybody else on the bench. Like, why is Kobe not starting?
White not starting?
That makes no sense.
It makes 0 sense. It's so stupid. It's so dumb that this just defies logic.
It's so stupid.
Like, you don't deserve to be playing in an NBA game if you're that damn stupid about starting Ryan
Arcidiacono. No, you mean you
over
a
kid
coaching.
You drafted 7th overall.
You shouldn't be coaching, is what you mean.
This is insanity, and it's something new every night. Thomas Satoransky, 33 points in 12 minutes. Luke Cornett started, for God's sakes. Cristiano Felicio played 24 minutes. Cristiano Felicio shouldn't be playing 24 minutes for the Windy City Bulls. This is embarrassing.
He can't catch the ball. Like, the few times I saw him, like, he just dropped. Thaddeus Young had 22 points, 11 rebounds. Zach LaVine, 19 points. Bulls out-rebounded, outshot. Everything. Lost by 10.
19 points on
they
8
lost
for 22.
To a 19 and now 19 and 36 Hornets team at the United Center. After a break, you had all this time to get ready for this game, and you go out there and you lose by 10 at home to start out the second, not really second half, but after the All-Star break. So,
I hate myself for being a Bulls fan right now. That's how bad
like you
they
said,
are.
I could take the losing when you knew something. Like, if you're a Pelicans fan, you gotta be pumped. I mean, you're losing, or if you're like Memphis Grizzlies is who.
Yeah, I mean they're 28, 26.
Ja Morant plays for, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
they have exciting teams, exciting players, this and that. We don't even have that. Like, there's nobody. He said Zach LaVine, I love him, but he's not going to be your number one. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's just like I said. It's going to be a tough 52 points in the paint tonight for the Hornets,
who stink.
Almost half their points were in the paint tonight. That's because we don't got any big men.
Well, yeah, what's going to happen when Luke Cornett is starting?
Yeah, we got Felicio in there trying to go. What do you?
Cristiano Felicio can't guard his own shadow.
I'm watching this game right now. Malik Monk, 25 points.
Cody Zeller had 16. Like, what? I didn't know Cody Zeller was still in the NBA.
Look at Felicio can't get down the court.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm
watching the highlights right now of the game, and it's just ugly. Like, just showing you how bad this team is. Like, Luke Cornett taken to the basket. So
I just hate myself for being.
It's going to be a tough end of this season. A lot of these type of games, and the schedule just gets better and better too. I know they got some tough games coming up here. Their schedule to start the season couldn't have been easier. And we are 19 and 36 right now. So that's that. That's as much as you can really say about the Chicago Bulls. Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
Yeah, I sure do. And if you're thinking about going to steal goats in the city of Fredericksburg, Virginia, you better watch your ass, buddy.
Thank goodness you told me, because that's what I was thinking about
I know
doing.
I just ruined your weekend plans, but for your own good, okay? Because a Virginia man held a suspect who was trying to steal goats from his farm at gunpoint until authorities arrived to make an arrest the other day. It's Stafford County in Virginia, right outside of Fredericksburg, where a farmer went out to check his goats because they had been let out of their pen, where he found a goat thief in the middle of his field. So he chased the guy down. He could tell that he was drunk. He was intoxicated, slurring his words, smelled of alcohol, and he had 3 goats tied up next to him right by his truck. So the guy just pulled out. I mean, I'm assuming farmers in Virginia just carry around a gun at all times.
I've never gotten drunk and thought, hey, let's go get some goats.
Yeah, that's not something. Even sober has never once crossed my mind.
Let's go ahead and steal some goats. Like,
yeah, so a 19-year-old too, right? A 19-year-old kid's out here stealing goats. Cole Schrock is a moron, and he probably needs a new pair of pants as well, because having a backwoods hillbilly farmer in Virginia holding a gun on you in the middle of the night while you're stealing his goats.
Yeah, it's probably not.
It's got to be worrisome. He actually probably got out of that the least
you want to be
in. The rest and. Right. I mean, for all the things that a backwoods hillbilly in Virginia could do to you with a gun pulled on you, getting arrested is probably the least of his worries.
Yeah. You're just happy. You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, you're happy to see the police come around the corner. You're like, thank God they're here.
Yeah. Anything post-show Boomy?
Man, not a ton, man. Just,
We may be at the St. Bede high school basketball game tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. Real quick, I got to give a shout-out. Holy Family Catholic School in Oglesby, Illinois, just finished second in the state in the IESA.
Is it the team that had the game winner?
Yeah, they hit in the quarterfinal,
Yeah.
hit a game winner. They were down 1 or 2, I believe, and had 1.7 seconds, ran a nice little sideline out of bounds play. Kid banked in a three from about 22, 23 feet
What
away
a feeling that has
to
to
win the
be.
game.
That'd be so cool to hit
Exactly.
a
And then
game
literally
winner.
the next that same afternoon, the kid, or not that kid, but that team, they won their semifinal game by 2 points. But unfortunately, they did fall short tonight in the championship. But hell of a run, second place in the IESA. So shout out to those guys, Oglesby Holy Family. So
Congrats on that. But we will be going Monday. Will be the start of our local 1A Class 1A 2A basketball regionals. So we'll be getting a little into that. Kind of talking about some local teams. A team very local to us will be going in as one of the one or two in the state.
they are
in one.
yeah, right now they're ranked. Indian Creek is ranked number 1.
29-0.
Yep.
So we'll get more into that on Monday and start following that and see where that goes. See if they can get to state. And Boomy will be talking about some maybe other local schools that have some chance in the regionals. And we'll also be talking about the new NFL playoff system. I thought we should let that kind of play out throughout the weekend, and we'll get more into it because I know the owners have agreed on it, but now it's up to the players. So maybe we'll get that by Monday, and we can get talking more about that with them expanding the playoffs, just like baseball was thinking about it, and also messing kind of with the schedule
money.
and adding a game and taking away a preseason game, which I kind of like.
Yeah, pretty stupid.
But we'll see where that goes throughout the weekend. Anything else, Boomy? Post show?
How was your business trip, bud?
Fun. Like I went to Springfield, the Crown Plaza, a nice hotel. They have a nice little bar there. And actually, there's a former WWE wrestler. I think his name was Highlander Robbie. He is now sells tile machines. So he was there at the
drastic careers.
Yeah, that's what a life.
Yeah,
But
I bet that guy's got some stories.
Yeah, it was fun. I got to hang out at the bar. Would have been Wednesday night. Then Thursday we got up, big convention center, and a lot of tile machine dealers and stuff like that, and just a bunch of tables over there, free stuff. It's a good time. I will have to say they brought out like these 3 big things of pretzels, little pretzels with salted pretzels, nice soft, buttery salted pretzels. I had 2 of them. They brought them out right as I was leaving. I think I would have ate a million of them if I would have.
Nice.
They had cheese there. It was unbelievable.
It's a game changer, dude.
Okay, I'm watching the Bulls post
Why are
show
you
here,
doing this to yourself?
and I can't hear what Jim Boylan is saying, but I can't imagine it's very good. He never looks really up much either.
No.
That can't be good. Like, we played well. Oh, they're 19-37. I'm sorry. That's apologies to me on that one loss. I forgot to give the Chicago Bulls.
We just forgot tonight's loss. That's all it was.
Well, thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyOtter.com if you want a beautiful mug just like this, or go on to Facebook and Instagram. Follow them on there if you got some custom ideas for them. Again, that is themuddyOtter.com. Thank you, Hannah and Mitch Prentice. And then thank you to Score Trader. Go to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app. Make an account for free. It's free to play. We got the Nevada Caucus tomorrow, so you can get involved in that on the Score Trader app. So go on to there. Boomy will be playing tomorrow night with the app Score Trader, so you should too. Go on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Follow them on there. Thank you, The Muddy Otter and Score Trader. Thank you to Boomy for joining me tonight at Boomy TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilia, LILJATCF. Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go to YouTube. Follow the Typical Chicago Fans page on there. subscribe to the page. Please watch the videos, like the videos, and comment. Let us know what you think. And then the podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. If you're on Apple Podcasts, subscribe, rate, review. And then if you're on Spotify, follow and give us a nice little review on there. Anything else, Boomy, before the weekend starts up?
Oh, let's have a good weekend. That's all there.
We'll be back on Monday. Like I said, we'll get more into the NFL stuff and some local high school sports with the regionals starting up. We'll get talking about that. Thank you for listening, watching to the TCF Morning Show, Friday, February 21st. We love you all.
Peace.